All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Dennis, you better get better soon. Still fighting this nagging cold. Hopefully he'll be back with us tomorrow. Moving on to the S&P 500. Finally took it on the chin yesterday. Had a first substantial sell-off in quite a while. Made a low yesterday of 1338.50. We have not been able to reach that level in the pre-market. The lowest we've reached is 1341.25. If that holds as a high of the day, we have an upside target of 1355.75. Currently, the Globex high stands at 1349, which is only 2 ticks below Tuesday's intraday high. So we have a good point of reference there, up and above 1349.50. We do not have much resistance until our target at 1355.75 or Monday's low at 1358. Right now, as long as we hold this 1345 level, mid-range on the day, we look poised to rally. Moving on to the Big Ten yesterday. ExxonMobil really ignored the sell-off. It did go down and made a multi-day low at 1842 before recovering to close at 85.86. Trading up here in the pre-market, our first resistance point will be Tuesday's high at 86.48. Use the close as a mild support, a good swing number, and 85.42, if it comes into play, should be a good support level. Perhaps buyers will start stepping in a little bit ahead of that, perhaps at 85.50. Moving on to our next component, Apple Computer. Took it on the chin right off the open. Someone must have sold like maybe 25,000 instead of 17,000 shares. This stock spiked down to 516.22. That was very close, or just 6 cents below our low on February 27th. Recovered nicely, ended up making a high at 533.69. That was right in the range of Monday's close, which is 533.16. So let's use yesterday's high, 533.69, as mild support, as well as the close at 530.26. Under 530, there's no major support. Minor support at Monday's low. But this stock looks like it's just going to trickle back up here, perhaps float back up to the 540 area. Moving on to our next component, another tech stock here, IBM. After flirting with that $200 level on Tuesday, could only get back up to 199.64. Sold off pretty substantially, closed at 197.26. Getting a bunch of lows here in the 197 area. That will be support until it's taken out. Coming back on the upside, looks like we have a test of 199.64 up to that $200 level. I'm sure you'll find some more offers at 200, a nice round number that people want to get out at. Also 200.66 is the all-time high. Moving on to our next component, Chevron Corporation, traded in a very similar fashion to ExxonMobil, going down but not very much, only making a low at 108, bouncing up to close at 108.85, less than 20 cents off the high of the day, 109.03. Trading up 40 cents in the pre-market, all already above Tuesday's high, so that whole level will now act as support. 109.03 down to 108.85. Coming back on the upside, really no major resistance in here until you start to get into the 110 level, 110.14 was our high back from last Thursday. And also we have the all-time high looming at 110.99. Mr. Softy was pretty soft yesterday. It actually opened lower, had a vicious bounce, and then just kind of drifted back the rest of the day. Currently trading up 21 cents in the pre-market. Our first resistance point is pretty easy here. You have 31.98, which was yesterday's high. 31.98, 32. Good resistance. Coming back on the downside, 31.56 was the close. That was just above Tuesday's low at 31.49. So perhaps we're looking at a $31.50 to $32 range in Microsoft. If in fact it can get back above 32, you have the double top from last week at 32.43 and 32.44. Although that doesn't look like it's going to come into play today. General Electric, who just reaffirmed its guidance, is getting a little bit of a boost here in the pre-market, trading up 14 cents. Sold off hard yesterday, made a low at 18.32, bounced to close at 18.42. It's right now going to be opening just about 5 cents away from Tuesday's high at 18.61. Little gap to fill there between Tuesday's high and Monday's low, so expect some resistance in that area. If traders are going to take this news for real, perhaps GE is going to float back up to the $19 level, which was major support for quite a while until the recent breakdown. Speaking of breakdowns that didn't materialize, Procter and Gamble had several lows in the 66.40 area, spiked down early in the session and then just recovered. The stock just doesn't seem to want to go down. Closed at 66.84, 67.09 high. That would be your first resistance point. Things are getting thick here in the 67s. 66.97 was Monday's high. 66.95 was the close. Let's look for support still coming back, even though it took it out yesterday and went to 66.13. I still think that 66.40 area will be good support. Moving on to our next component, AT&T. Took a little bit of a breather yesterday, but folks, you have to remember the stock has been on a very, very big move over the last couple days, rising from the ashes in the low 30s and getting over 31 on Monday, making a high at 31.11. Trading up 7 cents in the pre-market. Let's use 30.71. The close is mild support. Friday and Tuesday's lows come in nicely together at 30.60 to 30.66. So you can't look for a breakdown in that stock until we can get under that 30.60 level. Coming back on the upside, that AT&T did sniff 31 yesterday, got up to 30.99. So that will be our first resistance point. Moving on to our ninth component in the Big Ten. J&J, kind of quiet here in the pre-market, still treading above that 64 level, which we've been talking about forever and a day. Made a low yesterday at 64.19. I think that's minor support compared to that 64.02 level, and coming back on the upside. You're going to have to fight through Monday and Friday's lows in the mid 64.50, 64.54, and 57. Moving on to our final component, Pfizer Corporation kind of sold off yesterday with the rest of the market. Migrated back down toward the 21 level, only could get to 21.19, closing at 21.25. Trading up smartly in the pre-market here, 12 cents. Really no resistance in this stock up until Monday and Tuesday's highs at 21.55 to 58. Just above that's 21.65, which was our high from last week. S&P still hanging in here near the high of the day, trading at 1347.75. Going to be opening into resistance, so we're either going to open to that, get a pop and drop, or just break above that 1349.50 level and recoup some of the losses from yesterday's. Well, that's a breakdown of the S&Ps as well as the Big Ten. I'm going to post the market movers for y'all, and we'll be right back.